Okay, so still basically the middle of the night. Well, it's the next day because now it's 4 in the morning, but I've been up since 1:30. So if I look tired, that's why. I'll be curious now to see what they say about the Schumann resonance, because some of these nights, and you get up and then you see those reports on them, it's like, and you can't sleep, and then you see like these big blackouts or these big spikes and all this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking there's got to be something tonight. And last night when I went to bed, oh my God, I've got so many different things to talk about. I'll be all over the place. But last night when I was standing in the bathroom, like, I'm so madly in love with my hair right now. Like, I totally recommend it. If you've been thinking about stopping with the shampoo and trying to get off the detergents and shit, fuck, man, now I feel, I just, it totally feels like so much healthier. It's like this stuff goes over and coats it, and I keep using that brush. I think that brush has really been the thing that's gotten me over it. Because the last time I did this, I feel like I did it longer. Well, and then I got the wash bars, but I still think that was stripping. Especially this one I have recently that I've used it a couple times. Not since I started this new ban on shampoos, but before when I had used it, because you think about the being more of a healthy alternative, those little shampoo bars. But it was like lava soap, if you remember lava soap. And it made my hair feel so dry and weird feeling. And so I was like, man. But now that I have done this and I've gotten through, I think the worst hump, where it was just like, I'm telling you, it was like a water fountain of waxy oil just turned on my head, and it just started going like crazy. And I suppose I've heard about this rebound, like your hair is so, I mean, you're not letting it build up its natural force system, its natural force field. So it's, and then when you do, when it has an opportunity, because it's constantly fighting this battle, which you think about that, like we put our own hormones and stuff out of whack. We create these battles in ourselves. Our body has these natural mechanisms, and then we start fighting them. And, I think that's part of the sickness and the aging and all that stuff. Oh my God. And the shit with Canada, man, they have got to stop. Fuck. This is going to be really ugly. Look back. I mean, now, you are hard of hearing. And I swear to God, they are not just they are doing some sort of test about taking consciousness. That's the whole thing behind that machine. I swear to God, I feel so certain of it. And, and there's more stuff. I just sent this video to my kids. There was this guy that was taught, he got too religious. All these people with the religion, lay off the goddamn religion. Fuck. He was telling all of this stuff about the companies that, all the, man, you gotta talk on code on this stuff. The babies, that are removed early and they go through that they feed them back to us, like all this shit. And I keep seeing all these people like, man, my nose feels like drippy. I keep seeing all these people like, oh, where are the missing kids? Where are the missing kids? God, get to McDonald's. What do you think they do with all of them? They take them down to all of the missing leftovers. They take them down to the place I talked about before, where I don't know what, I saw about it on one of those serial killer shows that I talked about. It was one of the pig farm ones. There's so many of those now, but it was where I learned about this, where I put it all together. It was just part of the pieces. And that's why I said, you go out and you get lots of information. It fills the puzzle in. But it was he was talking about, that's how he started disposing of the ones he was doing, because he had a pig farm. He knew that is where you go and take like the slaughterhouses or whatever. I don't know about all of that stuff. But they it's a whole processing thing. And that's how they interject these children working in the middle of the night. Stella, I said, let me do this, okay? That's probably why I didn't get any sleep either, because she feels the tension too. Oh, I still haven't said, because there was the thing with my hair was linked to the story I was going to tell. That's why I was jumping. I may be jumping all over the place because they're all like linked in together. So so he was explaining how the meat places, like the different farms, they have to have some place to get rid of all of the excess stuff. So they take it to this place, and that's where they create like the pink goo and stuff. But it is like a meat packing place, and so they create that pink goo. But now, they're finding out. I mean, they've got full on parts in freezers at McDonald's. I mean, they got goddamn whole people. Like, and it must be their own distribution centers. So there's going to be a lot of gross stuff is going to come out about this stuff. But so it's beyond just the pink. And I mean, the baby removal clinic thinks they don't send it to that place. That's a whole nother distribution. It goes in to the science things, the flavor center things, all of that stuff. They use that, and then and this whole thing about the kidneys and shit like that, and then they grind it up and they put it in food. And this guy, the religious one that was doing that video, he was freaking out. He couldn't believe, because he went and looked up the different companies that use this Cinemex or something like that product, but there's two of them. There's a HE, all these things, an H and an E and then I think a 13. You have to go and, do research if you want to, fact check or whatever. But there's so much, all this shit is coming out. Like, don't even bother. Just sit back and just watch the show, because it's all coming out. Just all I'm telling you is prepare yourself if you don't know about this stuff. But anyways, he was going through all these different products, like all of these ones, Lay's, Nestle, like all these products. So it's like everything you use. That's why the only thing safe to use is what you grow, or what in animal or vegetable. Like, you should be growing your own animals, and you should be growing your own vegetables. Like, that's the natural way to live in harmony with the thing, not this, what they've done. And that's why, it's gotten so dark and dirty. But we got fat and lazy and dependent. So, it all has to cycle through. And this was, okay. So there's two things right there. Okay, so finish the one with, my hair, and then I'll go to the next God Almighty person who has their thing. So when I was in the bathroom, and I was like, so I was in there just messing with my hair, even the way it feels now, it just, I'm telling you, if you've got some problems with your hair and stuff, think about, like, are you stripping all of its natural stuff out over and over and over and over? Because the texture of it, the body, oh my gosh, all of the stuff, I'm in love with it now that I've gotten to this part. And last night I even thought, man, I was doing something, and I thought, oh, does it kind of smell like, because all I've been using, I don't know, because the time is so jacked with, just like stuff like this, being up in the middle of the night, sometimes I have 2 days in one day, sometimes I don't even, but the thing that I've learned through that, I even after the brain injury, what I learned was time is so, it's what you focus, it's what you do with your time, that's the part. And time is, especially if you're focused on time all the time, it's such a distraction from living your life. But so anyways, time doesn't matter so much. I just know that whatever with my hair, when I stopped doing the shampoo, and I had to go through the process part where it all starts doing that. And then I just used the vinegar, and then I did the vinegar and baking soda, and then I did the vinegar and baking soda. So I've done 3 times of that, of, trying to clean my hair. And Stella, will you please stop it? Please, let me finish doing this, I said. And told her, I have to do my work. Told you. You want to, I'm always telling, that's a whole nother, I'll go off on a whole nother story. Okay. So, anyways, with, and then, but I had to go through like the process or whatever. And then, so last night when I had sprayed it, you know, I was like, okay. Okay. Now she's laying down. Let's see if I can keep straight. Okay. So when I was in there and I was messing with my hair, brushing it, like I totally recommend, if you're going to do that, try that, get a boar brush, bristle brush thing. And yeah, it really does. Like you brush it and it gets all like, the debris and stuff out of your hair into the thing. And it does move it through the oils down into the like bottoms of your hair and stuff. It really does make a difference. And I'm sure it mends split ends and all that. I'm sure split ends is all our hair's reaction to quit murdering me every day. Like, so anyways, I was sitting in the bathroom and I'm brushing it. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so fucking cool. And fixing it and like just pushing it and stuff, you know. And the whole time I'm in there, I keep trying to just focus on me in the mirror. Starting, I swear it's a manic episode or something. And it's so, it's religious stuff, man. Yeah, well, if Jude said this, and, okay. So, and if, it's trying to, like, make the Bible make sense. Oh, it's manipulated, the whole thing. It's nonsense. So, and when I said that, it was all sparkles. To me, it's always like when they give me confirmation, like, yeah, they'll do this. It's like a fireworks show. If you get these sparkles, when it first started happening to me, I was asking people. Nobody knew what I was talking about, but I would assume people are getting it now. It is like these sparkles. You see them out the side of your eye. It's like they get excited. It's like this excited, sparkly energy. And I've always gotten it like when they get excited, like on a confirmation or something. But anyways, so I was in the bathroom and I was trying to not look, because my bathroom, like the mirror goes, you can see like the edge of my bedroom door. And I told you like how much they just hang out over here. I don't know why. I swear to God, when I did the mushrooms and I saw that magic path through the forest. And then I knew, even when my daughter was here, you know, when we would be doing good and stuff, when the energy was a certain way and we were having fun, it was like, you know, witch's cauldron or something. Because the energy, the TV would start talking into our conversation. It was trippy. And so I knew, like, I like I've said before, there's portal energy pockets all over in the forest and stuff. And so, and it was trippy how they showed that to me, how it just lit up. It was like this golden path that lit up. It was so cool looking. And so then I was like, you know, and then it's all gone together with my whole thing about, you know, recognizing the portals, recognize when you go in the forest, the change in the energy, recognize that the sound is blocked out, the colors change, like everything, you change, you go into a different reality just going into the forest. And I had this experience yesterday, so I want to talk about that too. But when I talk about like whatever's always going on in this hallway, and they've come out of the hallway. They're not just always in the hallway, but the hallway is always, but my bedroom is particularly seems to be active. And I don't know, it's like I feel like that they want to feed off of my energy or something when I'm sleeping, or interact with me when I'm sleeping or something. I don't know. I know there's a lot of like watchers and stuff, but I've said before, I feel like that there's also these astral projectors, that something like whatever in this realm that we are more in, and I don't know how it just opens up somehow, because our minds open up more, because I've known of this stuff, but it's just gotten so much more extreme. But so, and I can see so many of them now. And like, you'll see them run over here. You'll see it like it's in all different sizes. It's all just, it's energies. It's different live, it's just different beings. Like, everything is alive around us. Like, there's life around us everywhere. And we do have spectators and observers and watchers and stuff. It's like if we were going through and all of a sudden saw something different, we would stop and look and want to see, so and I don't know how all of the portals, I think it's going to be really interesting when the sky does start opening up and it starts being like these realms, when we start getting a deeper understanding of the grounds or something. So, anyways, but I don't even know when there started being so much activity in the hall. Like, it started, well, even when my visitor was here and she had that attachment, I started having like, but I already knew before that, because when my daughter would be back there and she would be mad, I mean, she'd be just fuming. And that just brings in energy. And I know, like, the portal, so you've got energy, you've got to clear, like how the attachments and stuff, they got to clear access to you. It's like the megaphone, you're screaming into the portal, hey, 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 come here, so you get like, and then plus with feng shui and how it moves the energies and stuff through the room. And I like mirrors. I know a lot of people are scared of mirrors, but I like mirrors. And so I have a lot of mirrors. And in that room, I mean, once my house condensed so much, I mean, I have less mirrors, obviously, but I have a lot more mirrors than a lot of people. And so the mirrors move. Okay, so if in this one particular room, the window comes in, there's a mirror across from the window, there's a mirror over here and a mirror. So that one would have to go like that. So they come through, because they got to go through like reflection too. There's something about reflection is a way you like you could put up a mirror in the reflection, you would be able to go through something. There's something about portals and moving and stuff. We'll learn more about all of this stuff, but there's something about that. Like, portals it's like a vibration hole, frequent. It's like a space you can move through. Like I said, everything is like a honeycomb. As like what I said, portals are around us all over the place, because everything is honeycomb, expansion of, like how the shell has the little spin part and goes bigger, 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 bigger. It is the same thing. That's what we are. And so however we've been crossing in these realms and stuff, like, and I've noticed how like these different energies, and I've seen how that's very much about protective. They're protective over you. Your attachments are protective over you, because you are their source of life. You've given them life. You've given them connection. You've given them something, because they're just an energy. And so when they attach to you, like, they're a feeling. I thought that was cool in that one show, how they took the feeling. It's a cartoon, kid movie cartoon thing. And they took her feelings and made them their own separate entities. And so it's kind of like that. Like, the feelings are their own separate entities, but they have no identity. But when they attach to you, it becomes like a closed circuit kind of thing. So they feed off of you, and they know what you need to hear and stuff. And it's, where people think it's demons and stuff, it's just, it's an energy, and it becomes dependent on you, but it's protective of you. And so that's why you gotta, you'll have to talk to and stuff. You gotta use your discernment. You gotta use your spirit mind, your mind's eye, to understand some of this stuff. You gotta look deeper into a lot of stuff. And I don't know, I don't know how everybody perceives. I don't know how deep everybody is into the illusion And you know, because this is, like I keep saying, this has just been a natural thing to me. I wasn't ever in this same places where I'm seeing people. It's like, it's very, you know, mind-boggling to me. So that's why I say this kind of stuff, is because some of the things, like, I don't know. Like, if you're questioning some of the things, there's definitely other people who are probably better suited to explain it, because there are some things that have just been natural. And the reason it's natural is because I'm here to explain what I'm here to explain. And, you know, you gotta, a part of your awakening is to understand your role, to know your purpose, and to follow through with what they tell you to do and whatnot. And so anyways, back to the thing. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm looking, and I keep seeing all these fuckers in my bedroom. And it's like it was like they're coming up to the door. You know, when's she coming? When's she coming? You know, and I was like, and I try not to acknowledge them, because like I said, I'm not going to just interact with any old, you know, I talk to these ones, the ones that I've been just talking to my whole life. It's, you know, it's an energy I recognize. It's like, you know, like I don't know, like a judge or something. Like if you had like a judge or something that could sit in your, you know, sit in your ear all day long to get you to try and look at things more bigger, to make me see things that I don't see and stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's always telling me things I don't see. It's fascinating. And so is when you can connect to that. And that is, you know, from what I understand, it's your higher self. It's your other aspect. It's your aspect that it's all encompassing. It knows so much more than what you, the individual, can perceive, especially if your consciousness is caught up in this illusion of the game, of the, you know, the scenario or whatever. And see, something just poked its head out there, right there. See, they do that kind of shit. It's just like that's the part that bothers me or something, I think, is the way they just like always looking around, like, you know, you know, and then maybe, you know, like when we're asleep, maybe we put out some kind of energy that feels good. Maybe we all have them just hanging around our beds, you know, like gargoyles. Maybe we do have to put up garlic and shit. Maybe all these old folklore, like, gotta look more into that shit, like, because I can see them. I can see the motherfuckers. And so I, in the bathroom, I could see them going in it. So I did send out a message, and I was like, I would really like it if you fuckers would get out of my fucking room. And you know, I think they just it's like more excited energy or something. And I was just like, oh, fuck you guys. I'm just sleep on the couch. I'm not even fucking coming in there, you motherfuckers. Then I ended up going in there later. But it is such a different energy in that room when I'm laying on the couch and when I'm laying in there. And I don't know why. I think it has got to be like what they had showed me about the magic pad, like a portal. It was like like if the frequency is that they can move through certain places, but that is kind of a containment, because the frequency, and they're not birthed into this realm that we were, so they can't move through the frequency like we can, because we're like in these spacesuits, so that we can move through the circumference, yeah, how they show me always is like a spacesuit, and how down deeper and deeper and deeper in the ocean, and how at a certain point the ocean starts collapsing on you because of that density. And so the frequency, see, is like, if you understand what I'm saying in the comparison, that's why I say, ask your guides and stuff to show you things, because they'll show you in pictures that you may understand better than just, me trying to explain something. When me trying to explain something could sound like I'm speaking Chinese and you speak French. So but if you go in and you ask your guides, they know how to communicate with you. They know how to help you to understand. They know what pictures you will understand for the concept. And they speak in like parables and images, like is like the thing that got me was so much was when I was reading the Buddha Bible, and I got it at a hotel. I took it and everybody freaked out. And I was like, they put them here so you can take them. Everybody freaked the fuck out. So then I went, because I was with a group. We'd gone and I went down and I said, can I take the Bible? And they said, yeah, that's what it's for. So then the other, because we were with another couple, we'd gone to this football game. And so then she went up and took one. I was like, that's what they put them there for. What do you think? Is the Bibles are in the church, in the hotels, so you take them. That's what they want you to take them. And so anyways, when I read that, the way that the philosophy, the way that it was spoken and stuff is similar to me. But see, I haven't read the Holy Bible. I was really put off by it because of the God that they kept telling me about was not the God I was familiar with. And the God I knew was one of love and acceptance, would never do anything to harm. It's a creator and not a deceiver. It's an energy of love. And so when they were, telling me about, judgment and I don't know, the God that I know, I'd be in Bible study and little kid, and I'd be asking them like, and just never could get any answers. They're all just, you just take it for word value. You just believe it because it's said. It's like, I'm not like that. So anyways, but that is the indoctrination thing, and what was that too? That was a thing or something. Okay, I'll skip off of that. Okay. Sometimes I'll see something and then it will just kind of like fade away or fizzle. And then I feel like, okay, that's not, it is kind of the things like they want me to notice or whatever. Because this is different for me, doing it like this. Like this is new, I mean, I thought we all had this. I thought we all lived like this. I had no idea that we didn't. And so, I didn't go around doing this, talking and telling people what my guides were saying. When I would say things like a lot of things, like I could see the future. Somebody could be telling me something and I could see like what was going to happen, and I would know what was going to happen, and I would be shown and stuff, even in my part with my awakening, because that is when it started changing, was where there started being so many more talking to me than just where it was my guidance. And I always had the awareness of all the supernatural and stuff. I was always spiritual, not religious. And I was always into UFOs and supernatural and all of that stuff. And I always knew it was real and true and stuff. And I couldn't understand what was wrong with everybody. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we are the only one, like people I couldn't understand. Now I understand. Now I see, everybody's under mind control. So that's why. Yeah, and I don't know how everybody got so deep in it. But anyways, people will keep waking up. And plus the universe is going to show you. You're not going to have much choice. It's not going to be left up to your inner knowing anymore. It's going to be in your outer knowing. So it's going to be kind of forced on you. So was I finished talking about that? Oh, because it was, okay. So when I started, I was after my dark night, when I started doing the healing and stuff, that is when there started being so many would come and talk to me. And I think it was when I got off of the chemicals, off of the pharmaceuticals, and I went, first I had to use the RSO, and that gave me some trippy experiences I've talked about before. When I went into that energy, like spinning thing, it was like a tornado, but I knew it, man, I was so cool. I've had so many cool experiences. I feel like if everybody got to have all these experiences, it would make them more aware. Like they wouldn't question things; they'd just know it. And so, but that is when I started having so many different people and stuff talking to me all the time. Then I started being like, oh, okay, so I think the chemicals, I mean, they put the chemicals on our hair. Our hair's our antenna. They do the chemicals to our third eye. That is our, you know, our ability to see beyond our physical eyes. They put chemicals to interfere with that. Chemicals to interfere with our antenna. Chemicals to interfere with all of our balances to keep us unbalanced and off, so that we can't focus on ourselves. They make us dependent on them for our emotional, our physical, our well, they want to make people into religious people instead of spiritual people. So, you know, they want you dependent on them also for your spiritual growth. So all things, they want control over, you know, all the different aspects of you, and they want to interfere. But in the chemicals and all of that stuff is all, you know, keep making you sick to age you when we don't need to age. And so I think all of those things so if you're having problems with communicating with your guides, then, you know, try going backwards from that. Think about like healing those different things. Like a lot of people try and do the, you know, healing, get off fluoride, you know, and they put it in so many toothpaste. I started making my own toothpaste with the bentonite clay, the charcoal. You can put some oil. You can look up different recipes and stuff. And, you know, and that's the move towards more natural products, where we have these certain people moving towards artificial, and then the other people moving towards natural. And the artificial they're going to find was really toxic, you know, it's really bad. And so I mean, it's like a necessity. If you want to stay alive, you got to go natural. Like chemicals are not there to make you healthy. They're there to kill you. But I would think, you know, probably it did have something to do with the communication improving when I got off all the chemicals. All the chemicals were probably blocking. Yesterday when I had said that it kind of was that they went quiet there for a while, really in all actuality, I think that when they were quiet is when I started doing the chemicals, when I started going on all those medications, because but it is all lines up on purpose. Like that stuff was supposed to happen. I was supposed to go through certain things to have them really impact me, you know. As, you know, when I was going through, you know, one bad marriage after another, you know, and it's just like, I had to go through all of those different processes. That's why I can give so many different, you know, ways of looking at things. And that is what takes away our judgment, is when we can see it from a lot of different ways. Even if you can't feel it and have empathy or compassion for the situation, even if you've never gone in and, you know, cheated with somebody in a marriage and ended, you know, broke somebody else's heart, then, you know, even if you've never done that, you've done something else probably that was hurtful to somebody. So that is where, you know, you stop judging others, because, you know, well, I've hurt some people too. Well, that whole thing, you know, that's another phrase I think out of the Bible too. You know, it's like the first one who can throw the stone, like the first, you know, like none of us have the room to throw stones at anybody, because we are all sinners. Like those things out of the Bible, those things are true. So they intermingle their control with our truth, because they have to, because there's certain things of our spiritual side that we know. It's like I've said all along, I never needed a book to tell me thou shalt not kill. It was written inside my soul. So I, you know, I've had the respect for other people's lives. It took me a while to get to the point of understanding about reincarnation and the cycles and what people are playing out. And then even, I mean, even getting to the point of understanding this place as a game and stuff, that is more recent. That's more in my awakening. So, you know, it's all, even though I had some things that were, you know, open to me at the time, you know, it was just, you know, little. It is just, you know, once I got to the part where I started seeing and understanding what was going on with other people, that is where I started seeing things so different. Like, oh my gosh, like how people think and stuff. Like, I could never understand it, like how people would be so mean and such bullies and whatever stuff I would say. It was like, how do people not see this stuff? Like, it would weird me out. But you know, I would just take it. I mean, I'm going to get change and be like everybody else and be like, yeah, you're right. That's crazy. There's no aliens. Oh, yeah, there's no Bigfoot. I was like, no. You know, and you know, my good experiences, I was lucky enough to have a friend who saw Bigfoot in her, you know, she had an experience. And having that, you know, 1 degree from you is a lot more real. So, you know, I knew it was real. And, you know, she was so freaked out. And hers was in the Appalachian. And she was driving by herself. And she was scared shitless. I don't know if she ever did drive it again by herself, but back then she was like, hell no, I'm never going to driving that by myself again. She was terrified because he paced her. He ran next to her car. She's out in the night, you know, driving through the hills and stuff. And he got next, you know, and the mountains are really curvy and twisty. And I'm assuming that the Appalachian is like that too. And then so he's running and he was pacing with her while she was driving, and he was running next to her car, and then he ran up in front of her and then ran across in front of her, and she was freaked the fuck out. So anyways, I've always known it was real. Like and you try and tell people, oh yeah, right. You know, nobody would ever believe stuff. And I just thought, what in the hell? But it's the mind control. It's how they control people's minds somehow to cut them off from their inner knowing. And that is what has just been the weirdest thing to me. It's really cool to see people's spiritual side wake up. And so they start remembering things. And so they start seeing, because they're so, I mean, this created world created so much hatefulness, so much violence, so much, it's really dirty and ugly, you know, and it is going to be brutal. This is going to be brutal when it goes. And that is, so another one of those prophet people, like the other girl, this person, this is called Judy Green, I think. Her name's Judy Green. And she's like a well-known Christian prophet. Like, I see people talking about her all the time. Well, Judy Green said this, Judy Green said that. And so Judy Green now is on TikTok, apparently. And so I saw one of her videos today. And she said, it was basically the same thing I said. But hers came from God Almighty himself. And so God Almighty himself, and it was the same thing with the other girl. And that's why I think it's kind of like they're accepted in that kind of religious group, was their awakening or whatever. It's kind of like, because they, you know, they question those things, you know, like it takes a lot for them to say, oh, okay, that is the word of God. Because usually they're always like, that's the word of the devil. You know, everything is like, anything I say that, you know, I'm speaking the devil. And then, you know, she's speaking because the Lord Almighty is speaking through her. But I'm just speaking to those demons out there. You can't trust those motherfuckers. And so she's speaking to the Lord Almighty. And he said that everybody needs to prepare. And I think we've all been saying that. And, but that we're going to see this massive, this thing that's going to happen where there's going to be a whole bunch of people are going to die at once. And that's going to be really hard on people. And, you know, I've been saying that. And so she said that that's what the Lord Almighty said. And he said that it's going to be really hard on people. And, but he, you know, along with the other girl yesterday, said that you just need to come to him, and my children, you will be protected, Josiah, what, all that business. But the thing is that everybody, no matter where you go to for what's to come, everybody is saying, same thing. Something is going to happen. Something big is going to happen. And a whole bunch of people are going to go. And that is, I think, what, like this rapture thing. But the rapture, to me, is like I've talked about before, it's this vibrational change. It's the people who are going to go, their vibration is not going to be matching. And, when you see all these people losing their minds and stuff like that, because they haven't been doing their healing. And you got to keep in mind too, not everybody came for the same thing. Not every soul is here for the same purpose. So even if you feel like the only purpose is to ascend and stuff, because you see this, like these people discount other people's lives. Like, oh, well, I'm ascending. And this is the one who is messaging me, who I said is kind of seems like he's on a manic thing. Like a message, the how the chosen ones came to be and stuff like that. Like, that's not, I get everybody's process. Everybody has their own process to go through with their awakening. But it just, I just get overwhelmed with people who want to just keep pulling me into theirs. And, I'm not, that's where I'm like, man, I don't think you, people on TikTok don't know all my content. They don't know what I talk about or something. So I don't know. But anyways, I'm just kind of, just not engaging more, and see, if he can find somebody to engage with, because I don't want to put him down through his process. Everybody's got to go through their process, but just don't try, to me, the message is don't try and hold on to somebody else with your process. Like, your process is your process. And so you may go through a whole bunch of different things, and it may not line up perfectly with other people. I don't know what his background is or his religion and stuff. I don't know what he's got to break free from. And so whatever he's processing is just like, okay, it's just a lot. It's just nonstop. And it's like, okay. The one girl who was like that, and she, she's gone kind of, she seems radio silent. The last I had seen it, she had some stuff to process, because that's the thing. When you go and you are so judgmental of somebody, you're going to start seeing your role. And that is the part that is going to start shining to you, is you. As much as you want to focus on someone else, you're going to start seeing you. And then you have to be able to face yourself. And like I had said before, when I was in California, it was so shallow. And you think about souls like wanting to come and just go experience, like you go and get born to go live a shallow life in California, then that would be, maybe that's all they came for. They just came for that they don't want to go and do all of this work and stuff like that. They want to go back to their planet, wherever they are from. They don't want to do this part. So you can't discount like their soul has no purpose, their soul doesn't matter or whatever, just because they are not focused on Age of Aquarius and Ascension. And with this group has to be its own movement, its own thing. If you're moving towards Age of Aquarius, yeah, you're going to start meeting up with people along your path. You're going to come across with all different people, and sometimes you might pass them and sometimes they may pass you. But as we are headed towards this new age, we are going to, if you're on that, it's kind of like a marathon. It is all of the people walking. If you've ever done a marathon, how the crowd works and how the people, go at different times. Same thing as like driving through, if you do a long road trip, you'll be with these same cars at different times and stuff. So anyways, but the marathon is a huge group of people. But, you know, as the marathon continues, you have a lot of people who drop out. They can't keep up. And so you have all of those people who are low vibration people, the people who are losing their minds and stuff, but they didn't come in. They came in if they're going to lose their mind, then it makes it stick out to us, like how it affects us, what we see. It helps us grow. So they play a significant role, even though people discount their role. It's an impactful role. And so, but that could be that's all that they're here for. And it could be your cousin, you know, it could be your aunt. I mean, I don't know who the people are who are going to go, because some of the people are also going to be impacted by what's going to happen. And that's going to send them into their, you know, come to Jesus moments, into their healing, into their, you know, questioning their existential crisis, you know, what does it all mean? And I think that it's going to be like a scary kind of thing with something supernatural. I think it's going to be something that is going to be impactful. So people are going to really see that they're going to see the world as all lies. That's why I said it. It's this sky thing that is like all these chemicals start exploding or something. And there starts being explosions in the sky and stuff, and starts opening up because energy creates a spark. And so energy, this is energy moving. There's energy moving towards us. And so it is something that's a cycle, like every 30,000 years or something. This wormwood Nibiru thing, you can look up about it. I just call it, like, you can look up stuff with wormwood, Planet X, Nibiru, and then you can put it in with the different, you know, different prophecy. You can this supposedly, from what I understand, wormwood is the ship. It is the Anunnaki, and it is their ship, and it takes their rotation or something 30,000 years. You know, and I don't know. You know, this is all stuff we're gonna like find out about, learn about. You know. And there's so many things, like even when I'm like trying to, you know, decipher some of the information, I'm not for sure, you know, I'm going to see some of the stuff, like so far, things that they have been showing me and stuff has been like very accurate, you know, so to me, well, you know, I have been translating some of this stuff since I was a little kid. Some of it's, you know, a lot more easier, but it does get, you know, more complicated. And it will always challenge you when you are doing something. Don't feel like you're not doing it right. They'll keep challenging you and trying to help you master what it is you're trying to do. So don't, if you do something and you feel like, oh man, I did that, and then it becomes hard, they'll do that. They'll make it harder. Your guides or whoever you're working with, you know, for your game people, your sideline people. So they'll make things more challenging, or your higher self. It's part of your process. It is it's part of your development. And it was always going to happen the way it was going to happen. Like, things are not happening outside of how they're supposed to happen. It can only happen the way it's going to happen. And, you know, it is a cycle. And so the return of the Anunnaki, which is in the Sumerian tablets too. And, you know, so I don't know. It seems like to me, if chemicals start exploding up in the skies, and they've got so many fires again going. There's, there was a Pep Boys in, it was somewhere in Southern California. I can't remember the city now. It wasn't Costa Mesa, but it seems like it was somewhere around there. And it was a Pep Boys, and it exploded. And there's some of these fires too, and it looks like it's like right in a city. It's like, oh my God, you keep hearing the explosions and stuff. It's like, if I wouldn't be sitting there videoing it. I'd be like going the other direction. Like, you don't know if these things are planted with the missing stuff. Like, these things are not just happening organically. These are being set. This is all the instigators out creating chaos. They're put out there to create chaos, to to impact things. And there's going to be like when the shit goes down, and it could be today. Like I was seeing footage yesterday, and I don't know if it was real, but there was so much of it of in Hollywood and in what's that other one? I keep having Newark in my mind because there's a story of Newark too, but I think it was Pennsylvania, and there's tanks in the road, and tanks driving and stuff. And there's been a whole bunch more arrests. There's been this whole thing with the, hacking thing. It's just going to be, to get people's attention so that they pay attention when this stuff is coming out. Because there's so many people who still are not paying any attention. And that is why it's going to be bigger, 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 bigger. And so that stuff, they've got that, they can put that, start a fire somewhere, and then, they could even do it in a dilapidated neighborhood, just to create chaos, just to get the cops and stuff to go there so that they go somewhere else and do something else. Like everything is just going to be chaos. And it already is in so many places. It's just chaos. And so many places. And it's so weird when you see other people just walking around like normal. It does look like this is like NPCs in a video game. You got explosions going and they're just walking like nothing's happening. It's, I don't know. Are there souls here that are just here to just be mannequins in life? Just so we have props? I don't fucking know. Are those the ones that are going to rapture out when this goes? I know it's going to have to do with vibration, and it's going to have to do with low vibration because Age of Aquarius is high vibration. And you see so many people who seem to be incapable of not staying divided. They just, you try and tell them not to divide, and they look for something to divide on. It's just like all they want to do is divide and be angry and stuff. So that's why I said some people aren't ready to do all of the healing. It's a lot of work. And, and so many people have so much anger and toxic and stuff, then they maybe do need to go through some more lives. I don't know. Or are they just playing a part? I don't know. It's a lot more complicated and complex than what people understand. So, anyways, to me, that there's going to be some explosions in the sky. There's going to be catch everybody's attention. And I still, man, gosh, there's just so many things that are going to be going down, and you just don't know when they're going to go. There's already people saying the quantum thing has already started going, but there's still this Fed now thing that's still going to, it is going to be a whole thing. But the Fed now thing, it still is not going to be permanent, no matter if that is some sort of a thing like this other person was saying. I'm hearing some other thing, but they could be getting their information from the same person, and we still don't know if that is an accurate source. So we don't know until something actually happens. That's what you got to tell yourself all the time. We don't know. This is all just a guessing game until it actually happens and we see it. Then we know. Then we can put all the pieces together. So right now it is... the money thing is in the process. People are saying, go check your loans and stuff. Stuff is going to zero. And there was some more stuff. The footage and stuff that people aren't seeing in other countries and stuff is real violent. Like people are burning down banks, just like what I said was going to be going on. People are burning places down, and violence is already going in other countries. And so it's going to start here, and it could be this weekend. It could be why they're getting tanks and stuff in the areas of where they think there's going to be a lot of violence. And it could be, that they got word on the street that there's going to be this or that, and so they go to certain places to try and undermine what these people were going to try and bring on us. But keep in mind, any place where you're seeing like fires and stuff like that, there can be huge explosions because there's still all this unclaimed material that we don't know where it's at, just out there floating around with these, instigators. I think they used to call it brown shirt people, but to me, they're just instigators. They're here to instigate trouble. They're here to instigate problems, to instigate chaos, to bring in the dark energy. And you have to be aware, and they've been bringing them across the border. These are people who were being let out of prisons and stuff like that. This is their purpose in life, is to just create violence and tension and stuff. And see, that can be, they're not going to be staying. That can be the big thing too. Like when this goes down and there's a lot of, dead bodies around, and I don't know, are we going to have to go out and walk around a lot of dead bodies? Is there going to be like a whole thing where we have to, do mass graves? I don't know. But keep in mind, a lot of them are going to be those kinds of low vibration because their vibration can't keep up. And there's like a leveling up in the game, and that this part, when this goes down, is going to be a huge level up. It's going to be like a big step forward towards our golden age, towards our freedom, and it's going to all go associated with it. But due to the mind control of the people and the people not understanding what's happening, and there's going to be more chaos, and then we have those instigators who are creating it. But most of those ones, when whatever happens, I think most low vibration people are going to go. Like that is a part of the harvest and stuff. So if that is what we're going to have, like right now, the rapture part, the splitting apart of the things, because the realities are splitting. You can see the people's choices going towards nature, natural, and people going towards the burping thing started. Now people going towards the artificial, the I don't know. It's like they don't look at it as artificial. They look at it different. It's like their perception of things is different. And that's why I'm saying is if they came set up for that. Their soul is set up for that experience. So to them, that seems like the best thing ever, because that is where they're supposed to go. And we can't sit there and talk them out of it and tell them it's programmed into it's your DNA imprint. It's what you came to experience. There's no changing that. You can't change somebody's, what you came in, what you're birthed into. You can't change it. It's a set trajectory. So, it's trying to change it is your frustration. That is your ego. That is you trying to change things instead of recognizing the things that you can change and the things you can't change. And so, and the desires of everybody wanting to control. Like everybody wants to be rich and famous, so everybody's going to chase that dream. It's like leaving a lot of dreams back here open, but go to it. So but that is as part of the illusionary world or something. They're all chasing the same bone. They're all trying to get the same carrot. So anyways, that's for them to all figure out. But for those of us who are going in the other direction, we're moving towards this is, to me, is so much about this, like, not judging each other, being open-minded towards each other, giving each other, space to fail at something and not tell them that they're a worthless piece of shit, to realize that that is what life is about these little lessons. It's about this growth. That is why your soul is here to experience. So trying to control and make it smaller and all this stuff of somebody else's experience is very limiting. And that is the big thing that is going on with the kids right now, man, is these parents who are so limiting over their child's experience. They're so controlled. These parents are I mean, they're so deep into like a structure that was I thought had dissolved a long while ago, and that somehow they've kept it alive or they've brought it back or something. But these people who like live through their kids, or they think their kids have to be what they want them to be, it's very controlled. I don't know, but that is, a part of something that we have to see, that we have to acknowledge as we're going into this, because kids are birthed into, to create, to experience and stuff, and there's just so much limitation. And in this whole thing of what has happened in children's development and stuff, we've created that. Like, we have to acknowledge that. We have to face what we've done. And then plus the distraction, and with it all being about, perversion and self-indulgence, that is the dark side of so many people that people have to face. And that's why the dark side of the healing, when we get to that part, is going to be, there's going to be a lot of violence, there's going to be a lot of anger, a lot of depression, because that'll be another big wave, like I talked about, another big suicide wave. There'll be a lot of that. And that's why I'm saying, any of the people that you know of, don't go at it like, I told you, you shouldn't listen. You got to be, a tender. You got to be kind. Otherwise, you're going to have to face some dark sides of yourself when they take themselves out. There's your lessons then, or, those... You have to just start picking up on how things happen is what you're supposed to be learning. That's, you got to start maneuvering, driving through life as you start to recognize that things happening are the things that you're supposed to be learning from. And they're happening for a reason. So, anyways, to me, there's going to be some explosions, though, in the sky. So we've already got, they go into, because they're fighting to keep the control. So it definitely has to do with the money and the government. So that's going to be associated with this. So it's all going to kind of go in hand. So, and they've got all these explosives, there's all of that whole thing. And then the frequency weapons. Yesterday, did so many assaults with these giant, giant hail that was crashing through houses and cars and shit. Like, so many places were being attacked. There was tornadoes. There's all sorts of stuff. So these assaults, are crazy. Up here, it's still, we've got a big cold thing going. And I don't know, they create the cold and the heat, because that's where they're always trying to get them to hit. So you just don't know where they're going to hit and create these giant storms, because, but over here on our coast, they've got the cold going. And so and I still don't know, there's still, so much talk about the earthquake thing happening. I just saw another thing too. So many people are putting out so many dates on the different things. But anyways, if the earthquake goes down, it's going to go down. We know it's going to go down, but we just don't know when it's going to go down. But, and we know it's going to be big and it's going to be bad. And that, I think, that is one of the things I think that is going to take out a huge ton of people. But at the same time that occurs, they can be doing stuff on the East Coast and in the South, and up by Canada, that will be hit with more than one thing at one time. And then it can be during, this explosive time that there's explosions and the sky opens up, and then we start seeing these other realms. Because the whole thing is, okay, like when you put it together through logic, the beings that are coming to interact with us and stuff, the reason they don't interact with us is because, we're like ants. It's like, goats to ants. A goat's not going to go and hang out with the ants. And so we are, we're just like, and so for us to raise the bar, we have to come up to their level. And I see, when you got all these people, aliens are demons. And I saw this video yesterday. These people, they just are all like, aliens or demons, if any aliens come and try and start interacting with you, you need to do all this stuff because they're devils and all of that stuff. So that's what I'm saying is, it doesn't seem productive for the sky to open up right now and the aliens to come down. It's kind of like we're getting a soft open, like they're up there, they're in the skies. Oh, someone saw one over there, someone saw one over there. So we're getting like this soft open to get people to acknowledge their biases towards other beings. And as soon as another being looks different, they automatically think like, just like people don't give dogs respect because it's another being. It looks different than me, so it has no value. Its life it's less valuable. It's like, so, and a lot of other beings are, animals, insectoids, and stuff like that. And when we don't even have any respect for all these different things. And so I don't know if it's going to be a lot of those people are going to be going. That's why I said, and when a lot of religious people, they want to go, and maybe they're all going to go to, a summer camp to learn about souls or something. I don't know. I don't know who. I for sure know it's going to be low vibration people, but there's so many low vibration religious people. It's insane. I mean, they all think that they are so close to God, but they're so low vibration. And so, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go, but it doesn't make any sense for me for it to open up and them to come when people haven't even gone through any of the awakening or healing. And I don't know if that's going to be the shock factor, though, and that's why they're in such a rush to keep disclosing all this, is because, that's going to be the thing that's going to, that the sky is going to start exploding and ships are going to start flying in and people are going to panic. But what would be the thing that's going to take out all the people? They're coming to help. So to me, they're coming second. To me, what is the energy is that we're building up to something big, something really awful on the planet, which I think California is. I feel like it's going to be something with California. So many people do. And California's just sitting over there just being all comfortable with itself. But if you look at the news and stuff, it is like people with children should really leave California. People with children shouldn't be in California anymore. People who want to, live a better life need to get out of California. Like, this messaging is out there all over the place. And the people are listening. A lot of people get really caught up in their ego over where they live. And so they, I'm Californian, and they get all up in their own ass. So a lot of them, they're not paying attention to that. They're Californian. So those people, are going to leave because they need to go and see, like, you're a little too attached to being Californian, and you identify a little too heavy in one area, you're out of balance. So they're going to, pass over so they can go deal with that in their life review and see that so that they can come into the age of Aquarius, a clean slate where they've healed it or something. I don't know. And, but to me, there's going to be, it makes the most sense for the mass amount of people to be killed in California. And because the West Coast is going to change so drastically. So there can be, we can have some more stuff going on in Nevada and Arizona at the same time. Then we can have some things going over. I mean, there's so much activity over by Pennsylvania. Oh, and Newark. So I think that would be under the umbrella of the yellow cloud. And the guy was out golfing. And he walked over to the little, how they always have the ponds and stuff. And he said, and this was a pretty big one, and all the fish were dead and floating at the top. And so, the chemicals are going to, those are fish, that people are going to start having effects from this shit. And so there's so much activity over there. So see, I think what it's going to go is there's going to be so much activity that's going to happen all at once. And then there's going to be, I don't know if it'll go to a blackout. I don't know if they'll call it martial law. I don't know if they're going to call it first to try and make it not be chaotic, but it's all going to kind of go together. But to me, after we go through that part, that to me is when the aliens and stuff are going to come, because they're going to be coming to help us, not scare us and cause more chaos. They're coming to help us. But it's like there's a phenomena that's coming, and so all of the people, like the beings, Trump, everybody is pushing suddenly because we're close, and like the news telling people, well, if you're in California, you should really leave all the time. So and I wish my brother would, and he's an LA fireman. I just got trust. I mean, you just got trust. You can't sit here and worry and panic. It's not like I could call him and tell him. They already think I'm crazy anyways, so, it's going to be, they're going to have to, I got to just let go of it. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And there's nothing, we can do about it. And so, but whenever the stuff starts going, that is the energy to me that is going to create the solar flash. It's the energy we're going to put out is going to come back at us. And so I don't know if that with them coming, like, I don't know. There's just a lot of events, a lot of things that are going to be happening. And there's a lot more talk too with the medbed thing and all of the patents that are about to be released. Because of the money thing. So that's another thing they're going to push. And I had said that before. I said, I think that it's going to go really quick when that starts going, that we're going to start having med beds and stuff, because there's going to be there's so many sick people. That is the one thing on the videos. Like, I can't even stand it. I can't stand to listen to everybody's testimony. It just makes me sick. There's so much pain, so much suffering, so many sick people. And that is another thing too, is the people who want to heal, to give them the opportunity with these med beds and stuff. But there's going to be a whole thing too, as, you got to be raising your frequency, because the med beds aren't going to be as effective, I don't think, unless you are, connected to yourself somehow. This is going to be stuff that's going to be really good, but we got to still like learn how to use it and stuff. So all of those things, and that's when, there's going to be a lot of aliens and stuff. They're going to be teaching us about technology and helping us. So I know they're going to be here intermingling with us and stuff, but it is going to be, I just don't think it's like right now. I don't think that is the part right now. I just don't think it would be as effective. There's way too many people who are scared, way too many people on edge. Like, we have to go through the crisis part. We have to go through that, so we're more open to what, open to other beings, open to the world being different. We have to go through this crisis. But the crisis, as the good part is, it's going to wake so many people up. And it's going to change things. It's going to really make a difference. So, we've got to go through that part. And it's going to be, I think it's near. I think it's close. And I'll tell you something, too, that I thought this was trippy. Is, I talked about this a while ago when I was at the food bank, about that old man who was sitting up there. And he was talking about this area was, I don't even remember what he called it. It wasn't coal mines. It was something, but it could have been some kind of mines. But it was something. It was something like that, where a lot of people would go to a certain area and go to work, and then they would build cities around it. And he was talking about that was what this place was. And there was like 30,000 people in this town. And it was a big town. And it's not here. And he was an old man, so... he was talking like, 50 years ago. My house is 25 years old. And so it trips me out. Like, I've seen railroad tracks and stuff. And there's all these unused railroad tracks around here. And so once he had told me that, because, my daughter, the one who hasn't been speaking to me for a while, well, she's doing really, really good. So I'm just so happy about that. My daughter, I asked how she was doing the other day, and my daughter said she's just doing really, really good. So I'm so excited. So see, even when someone has to take time away from you, don't focus on the energy of the distance. Focus on their healing in the benefits that they're getting from the distance with you. So I'm, and you'll come back around. Things will level out. So anyways, I'm really excited about that. But so she said that, okay, let me think back what I was saying. okay, so the guy, so the 30,000 people are, oh yeah, okay, so the daughter that hadn't been talking to me, she's the youngest one. And she's the one who, she was in college when I started waking up. So she was in, for anthropology and archaeology. And so, and it was at the same time I was like watching Ancient Aliens and stuff. And so I started saying things to her, and, you know, and she was like, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. And so I started seeing the lies and manipulation that were going on in the school from what was being said, and that the archaeologists that were out there telling the truth were being called crazy and wacky and stuff like that. And they were teaching that to the kids in the schools, and they weren't telling them about these other things. But anyways, so she went to go do a dig around here with a class, and it wasn't right here by me. I'm not sure where it was, but they had talked about like all of the, I don't know if you call them settlers or something else, but that there's all this old stuff. And so she was talking about when she went, you know, they had to go through all these thorns and all this. She said it was brutal to get back there. And then they got back there and they did this dig, and they were finding this old cool stuff. And in my yard, like I have this one pair, because yesterday I found another glasses frame out on my walk, but I had this other really old one because it reminded me of it yesterday when I had seen the one. I was like, oh yeah, I found that other one, so I took it. And the one I had found out in my yard looks like a really old pair of glasses. And there's a lot of times, like there's some weird things. There's like a railroad thing through my back thing where railroad planks, but I don't know if they put them there or what. Like, you know, when they don't tell you the truth, you don't really know what your location really is. And so you know, I don't know. I like, fuck, you could have some really valuable things in your own yard and you don't even know. That's why those people, I'm going to get one of those beeper things that you walk around and it picks up things. Because you can find things, and there's stuff buried under us. And a lot of the stuff, like, you know, is like glass and pottery, and not everything is metal. So, that's a thing, like you can't find all the stuff using one of those, but it could get you to like find a spot where there's things to dig and find. And but so you know, after I had heard that guy say that, it did put the question into my mind. I keep being like, there should be remnants of houses. There should be something around. You should see where this this other city existed before. Like, where did it go? Why did it go? Like, the guy said that it was just like the work dried up, and so everybody just kept leaving. But then why didn't they keep any of the houses alive? Like, you know, I mean, they put together like small like houses and stuff, I think, when they go to work like that. It's not like they're building big, you know, giant homes or something, but still, you'd think that there would be some sort of a historical site, something that showed about it. And I think if I went to, that guy was saying, if I went to this one place, he was talking about a book that you could find all the pictures. But we have like this little historical building in Maple Falls in the town part. And it is when I went into that thing, it was all, like there's pictures of Bigfoot and stuff. Like there's lots of sightings of Bigfoot and stuff around here. Because I'm really in the mountains. And so, but anyway, so the point that I'm saying all this stuff is, so yesterday when I went to go do a walk with her after I finished recording, and so we left, and I was like, let's go to the lake. And she was like, no fucking way. And she was not getting in the car. And she ran up to the gate. So I just was trying to wait her out. You know, I'm just going to sit over here. And she sat over there. And then she started just having a fit. So I was like, okay, fuck it. This isn't worth it. So I'll just go walk her around here. So we went for a walk. And now that she's been walking so much, like she can walk long ass ways. But she wants to just go on adventure. Like she's walking like barely one step, like shuffling and panting, and she still wants to go off on another trail. She's just like, she wants adventure so bad. And So we left here to go walk, and she wants to interact with people so bad. She runs up to anybody that she can. And we went and we were walking and walking, and she kept wanting to go. I kept wanting, you want to go back? And she kept wanting to go, 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 go. So we kept going, and then we got up to this one road that was like, I was just up there. We got up next to this house that I don't normally see, and they had really dug up their yard last year. And so now it's all fixed. Oh my God, they did the cutest. Oh, it's so cute because they did like their house is set, and then they did like their driveway. I think you can circle all the way around and go out. So it's kind of like this island between their house and their driveway and the street. In that island, they did it like this tropical. The plants are so fucking cool. I mean, I'm sure they're not tropical, but they're big rainforest. Like everything is so overgrown right now. It's insane. It is like, and to me, that's got to be something with the energy or the frequency or something. Like stuff is growing crazy by me. And so, what was I going to say? So, oh yeah, they did such a cute things. They did like a little patio part with all these plants. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. People do the cutest creative things, and all these rocks going. It's adorable. And the house across the street from them is really adorable. So I'm standing there just looking, and I'm thinking, God, there's some cute ass houses here. And this one I was looking at, and then I noticed, well, there was a drive right there. I was like, well, what's that? So I walked up a little further into where their driveway was, and I saw that's a road. And when my daughter was here, and we had gone over through the construction and went up that road, like this road. And I kept being like, where the hell did this road come from? And we were walking for a long, long ways. And kept thinking, how weird. I kept being like, what in the hell? Trying to figure out what the hell this road was. And I was like, these construction people are putting in another road. They're going to come up here, make these the more fancy houses, which they keep having that gate closed now in the gated community, which really made me think like, there's going to be people who are going to get trapped in panic. And I said that on TikTok, and people who were living in gated communities, well, we know how to open the gate. We would just go out and open it and stuff. And it's going to be the same thing. All these people who are reliant on Alexa and stuff like that, when all this stuff, like to me already, I can't even order. Like I need to get some more Stella's medicine on Amazon, but I mean, my orders are already jacked. Like things are like, I'm getting empty envelopes. Things are not coming at all. Things are coming, the wrong thing is being sent. Like all of the systems are going to continue to fail. And so, and this being dependent on AI to run your household, like, I mean, already the signs were out there. People were not being able to control their own heat and stuff like that. Like, oh no, I think there's gonna be some houses that are gonna be like, can't get out of their house or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes down. But, so when we walked over to there, this burping thing, when we walked over to there, so when I went with my daughter and we walked all that long ways, and I kept thinking it was the construction. Now they're going to make these fancier houses. They're going to look down on these other houses, and those houses are not, I mean, they are fucking cubicle houses. It's insane. And when I was walking through there yesterday, I was like, oh my God, it's like they just put all these little cubicle houses with a view. Like you can go and look at the world instead of living in it. It's just, there's something so weird about it, how things are in these neighborhoods and the buildings and what they're doing and stuff. So, but then I remembered that was blocked off before. So when we went over to this other side, it was blocked off like the other one was, but it was a road. And so Stella and I start walking back there. And so, I had no idea where it was going to go or anything. And for a while we were behind houses, and then all of a sudden it was like, it became like you were in your own little thing. You couldn't hear any sounds anywhere. I was trying to hear like the construction. I was trying to hear sounds to try and figure out where I was, and I couldn't hear anything. It was completely like being in a different world. And I was like, it's just more confirmation. When you go into these places, you are going into different realms, different realities. Anything can happen. And so, despite space and time, as we start noticing, things change. And so, and while we were walking such a long ways. And I was thinking, man, this, like, you could be back here. Shit could totally go down out there. And you could come out and it's already all over. And you didn't even know anything happened. And so I'm just sitting here thinking all this weird shit. And trying to figure out, like, where we are and stuff. And then all of a sudden we come to an intersection. I was like, what in the holy hell is going on back here? There's an intersection. There's a broken car over here. This is in the mountains behind our neighborhood. So we've got our neighborhood, which would have been small. Then they added on this whole giant thing this developer is doing and cutting down all of this part of this mountain. It is all mountains everywhere. And so there's nothing back there. And so I'm walking, and so this road has an intersection, and I look, and this road goes way off that way. And I'm like, where in the hell is that road going? And these aren't logging roads. These are not logging roads. These are fucking roads. These are well-developed roads. They aren't paved, but it's well-developed. It's not a logging road. I know what a logging road looks like. And so these, and then on this one side at this, there's this car that is all like rusted out and busted up and stuff like that. And it wasn't, because I was like, could this car be like from the 50s or something? But I was looking at it, I was like, no, it's probably more like, I don't know, the 80s or 90s or something car. But I didn't go over and do a thorough inspection. It is, it was definitely like graffitied on and everything else. And so then I'm thinking, okay, so am I up in this part where all these different people go? Like, is this where the mountain lions are? And so then I decided, oh, this must be the road that my daughter and I were on. And so I just kept going, because I kept telling Stella while we were going, like, maybe we should turn around. Like, I don't know where we're going. I don't know how far we're going to go. Maybe. And then I was like, it's got to have a way to get in and out. So there's got to be some way to get out of here. So we just kept going and going. And then I realized, okay, this is the road that we were on with my daughter. So that road, if we would have kept going, we would have come to another intersection. And so while I was walking, and the forest is so overgrown. Like, it is insane. Like, I am not shitting you. I don't know what happened, how everything turned so green and so lush. And everything is turning into like fucking dinosaur looking. Like, it's trippy how it looks. And so I'm just like fascinated as I'm walking. It's kind of eerie. And even Stella, she's jumping. And I know she can see things that I can't see. She's jumping all the time. And, she'll turn like that all of a sudden. Like, so I know she's even seeing more stuff than me. But, what we're going, and it was kind of eerie. And then when we came out of there, what was I going to say? Because, I found this really cool stick that was like a weapon. It was like it was weird, because I was thinking, okay, so I probably need a stick or something if we run into a mountain lion. And I reach down, I pick up a big stick thing, and then I look over, and there's this one that is perfect. It is like some sort of, one of those like jujitsu kind of weapons or something. It's like this stick that goes out. It's got like broken things, so it's got pokey things. It's kind of Vikingish. And so it's like this club with these things that stick out, these pointy things. And then it has this other little handle thing that comes out. So you can have it, you can twist it, you can hit it, you can hold it. I was like doing all my practices while I was walking. Like, come mess with me. Like, doing all that. I'll be ready for you. So, that I felt like nature was just giving me a little gift. I've kept it. I brought it home. It's sitting up there. Any of these instigators that come in here and try to mess with me, I'm going to whack them. I'm going to whack them hard. So, but there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, yeah. Okay. So while I was walking, and I was noticing all the overgrown, and that is where I was like, that is where the motherfucking houses are. They're back there in every clearing that there was a spot. I bet you there was houses scattered back here. I bet that's what the road was. And so they just skip past that and let's just jump down here and put these. Because they put us, like the houses they're doing there, you know, it's all open. But the houses that would have been up there would have been tucked into the woods and stuff, kind of like what they did down here. But people would have been more private. And I don't know where all these roads go, but it is very strange. Like when you think about like the tunneling system beneath us, and people who live in cities, see, they're not going to know about this stuff because they've purposely, you know, they hide this stuff. Like, there's so much stuff with things in New York right now. Like they've put in some other creepy new fucking art distributing thing, whatever it is, and says weird creepy shit because the cities are created, the phallic buildings, all of it is to create an energy. That's why so many energy, these cities are so toxic. The energy, it becomes so toxic and hateful and divisive and bitter, and all of that is created. And so the energy out, like by the forest and stuff, you've got the magic and stuff, but that they don't want that. They're creating their negative energy system. And so you can't just go out. I mean, you have to go and find an open place. Like you could go, if you can find a really huge park or something, you could maybe find things that are, like, don't make sense. But if you go out, like, I don't know, I've just learned so much different stuff coming out here and living rural and stuff. You know, this is the first time I ever had. And so this is, I don't know, it's just blowing my mind. Like, so we have hidden little towns that they just sweep under the rug, and then do they kill a lot of the people? And then you have these old people, they want us to be divided with the old people. They want us to listen to old people. Old people carry so much history. And so, you know, discount them, hurry, kill those motherfuckers off. And so the ones that are even out there, they're not even being heard. Like, nobody was listening to that man. I was interested because I knew about the hidden history, but nobody was listening to him. And I sat down and started asking him questions. And well, I don't know if I sat down. I think I sat down. I might have stood, but I was asking him questions. I was engaging. And, you know, other people weren't, because people don't care. They don't think that stuff is important. They don't realize what is important, you know. And they're just thinking about, you know, what Kim Kardashian's going to do tonight or something. It's like weird. So, what was that? There's so much more weird stuff too coming out, like Hollywood stuff. Like, oh my gosh, it's nonstop with people. Like now, Taylor Swift's a guy. Everybody's a guy. Halle Berry's a guy. Like, I don't know, and they keep putting like these body types. Like a woman's facial structure, a woman's body structure is different than a man's. It has certain markers. And they keep doing these marker templates over all these different people. And then plus finding everybody's Adam's apple and shit. Like, I don't even know at this point, like, what the fuck. But there's so much of that talk. So much now with so out in the open, apparently, it was certain actors, when, you know, just what I've been saying. They just, if you don't do it... if you don't do what they say, they just kill you and clone you. And they have a whole thing with the timing, like, and just like what I said, what they do with the breeding with the dogs. That's why it made so much sense what that guy was saying, that was saying on the news, because they do breed in, like, oh, we want them to sing better, we'll put that in there. We want them to bark less, we'll put that in there. Like, all of the things that they do, isolating certain things, they've been doing it a while. So that one scientist, if it was really a news thing that was showing that, man, didn't know what this talked about. Oh fuck, it's like feels like a grip on my throat. Oh man. It's gonna be though, it's gonna keep coming out, like I mean, we don't even know how many people are human, how many are robots, how many are clones. Is a clone still a human? They take part of this human cells. They take part of the person's cells. Oh, fuck. They take part of the person to grow a new one. So is it the same person? Is it, and whatever is coming out about how they get their consciousness and they put it in these different ways that they are getting our consciousness, and all this stuff that I've been talking about, it's all coming out. And, you know, all this stuff, even way back where I know there's people who thought I was just so wacky. It's all coming out. And so the, you know, in the whole thing too with the trans agenda, it gives them opportunity to practice. It gives them opportunity. These people line up to be like, you know, yeah, do this to me. Yeah, do this to me. And I just saw, there's a bunch. It's not just one. There's a bunch of not just tons and tons of detransitioners, and some medically induced because they have to, because of their medical problems they've got. But there's some that are so sick they're dying. And, you know, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And I saw this woman, and this is the mindset. This is what we're working with here, is, you know, this woman who's, I don't know, 10-year-old trans child or something like that. I don't remember the age. It could have been 15, somewhere between 10 and 15. Did himself in. And so I didn't watch her whole video. Like, I can't just keep watching all of these just sad shit. But so she was, you know, trying to explain, get people to understand why we need to be kinder and stuff to these trans kids, because then they're just going and killing themselves. It's like, oh God, like, dude, let's just fucking have coffee or something. I mean, that's not my reaction. My reaction is very much of irritation. But when I have to get control of myself, it's like, you need to talk to these people. You know, these people gotta see. What we need to be doing is having kids learn how to love themselves and accept themselves. Not telling them that they're broken, something's wrong with them, that they can change this and they'll be happy. It won't happen. They're not going to be happier. And even if they are, for anything, their life is going to be so much more complicated. If there's people out there now who were happy trans people, like they were living their life, and now all this stuff keeps coming up and it's caused such a ruckus in their lives. And so, you know, the best way to live is just clean and free, you know, not having all these attachments and stuff. And all of these organizations and stuff are just there to corrupt us and to keep us divided, to put certain people in ego so that they think they're better than other people. And that's part of the big problem, is the people who think they're better than other people. And that's the problem with the Christians. They get out there and they think they're better than other people. They think they are speaking to the God Almighty. Or, you know, not all of them, because that's the devil. It is only the chosen few. And I don't know how you get approved to be one of the chosen few that has got the word of the Almighty. But it's the whole thing. And they're very rule driven. Like, there's a lot of rules to get to God. And that's just like, man, that's not how I see it at all. So to me, you know, God is creation. Creation is to experience. And experience is to grow and expand. To grow and expand, which direction do you want to grow and expand? You want to go towards light, or you want to go towards dark? Like, to me, you got to stay kind of knowing that you have both, and keep the wheel in the middle, keep steering in the middle. You know, putting the dark into its perspective, and the light too. You can't get caught up too much in the light. That's where you get these people who, you know, the do-gooders. They think that they're doing good, and they're totally out of balance. They're not doing good for themselves. They're so focused on what they think is being acceptable to other people. So go out there and do good works, you know, but you're not being real. You're not being authentic unless you acknowledge that you're both things. You're not just a do-gooder. Something's out of balance if you're just out there giving and giving and giving into all these people to try and make everybody else happy. And it's because you depend on their energy to give you something back so that you can feel good about yourself. But you need to learn how to feel good about yourself without having to play these toxic games with other people. So it's all, you know, it's all part of the expansion. It's all part of the growing and learning about yourself and learning how to have a happier, more complete life. But, you know, I really do think that, I mean, the woods were so overgrown because I was sitting there looking, I was thinking, man, I bet you there is some cool ass shit back there. You know, some of these places, I bet there is so much fucking hidden stuff back there, houses dilapidated. Like when my daughter went to that one, there was parts of the cabin, there was all sorts of cool shit. And I just think around the cities, you know, in the mounds hold a lot of stuff too. But around the cities, in the woods and stuff. But you got to be careful. I mean, going back into the woods can be really dangerous. You know, it is other realms. There is other, and we are really opened up to that right now. Like the shift is making it where the other beings can move around us more clearly, or we can see them more or something. But, you know, I mean, you can get got up there in the woods. You get eaten. So you gotta be careful. That was one thing on Widmer's list, you know, or having all these lists of these kids going missing in the woods and stuff. Like, and I think they had number too. Like they use sale code numbers and stuff on it. These people are just a bunch of sick motherfuckers. Just a bunch of sick motherfuckers. So, anyways, I think that this is, you know, their time's up. I think that the push is coming in hard, and this could be our weekend. I know I say it a lot of times, but you just never know. I mean, there's tanks in the roads. Like you know, one of the weekends has got to be the one. I mean, they can't keep going and keep going and keep going. And there's so much stuff. Joe's going down. Like, he's going to be, and that could be the first thing that is really going to start it all going. The first little domino that pushes over to get these people's attention. I don't know, you know, because whatever is going to go down, the other side is going to have a reaction. So that's what I'm saying. There can be, buildings blowing up. I mean, the towers, just keep in mind how big they'll go. And I think they'll go bigger. They'll go bigger. They've got a big old ton of stuff that those explosives, you know, that's a lot. It's a lot of firepower they've got on their hands. So anyways, we'll just see how it goes. Just remember, you know, and Judy Green said it too. Don't fear, my child. You have nothing to fear. God Almighty himself has told you. So you have nothing to fear. There is no fear. There is no death. Death is an illusion. You could seriously, if your body is laying there and you're separated from it, you can get back in your body. The only reason you don't is because you think that you're dead. You think you can't. And so you can jump on back in if you want to keep going. And there is going to get better. I mean, we just have a lot of horrible stuff to go through on this, but it will get better. And you just got to remember, the horrible stuff is to get these people to get on the same page, because, you know, this hatefulness is, you know, there's a lot of hate out there still. So, you know, all of this stuff has to be purged out. We got to let it go. It's got to get out of our society. And so that's what's going on, and we got to keep letting it go. So just remember to stay safe, and, you know, just keep working on you. Pay attention to your triggers. Just really tune in to your reactions to things, and, you know, questioning yourself, and just figuring out how you yourself can grow through this. And just remember, everything happening is happening for you. Those are your signs. Those are your opportunities to grow. So use them while you can, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.